Hi.
Welcome to another video. This one is about
Living in Japan.
that's how exciting it is. No, but seriously, we're going to talk about what it's actually like, or from our experience.
Or just like a brief kind of like overview if you want to know about anything in detail.
Yep,
Just say
Japan. So we live in Tokyo. We live like Shinjuku, and okay, well, from my perspective, I really love it here, and I really like Japan. Or I haven't been around Japan. I really like Tokyo. It's super. Well, how can I? It's like compared to London, it's like the same, but people walk slower in Tokyo.
They really
They
do.
walk a lot slower, which is really annoying. For me, I like living in Tokyo. I think like there's always something to do. Because in London I found that I ran out of things to do. It's like, let's go Oxford Street, oh, we've been there. Let's go Soho, we've been
But
there.
I think you've lived in London all your life,
It's true.
so as
No,
someone,
I agree that there isn't as much to do in London because I feel like Tokyo has a lot of hidden places.
It does.
Because it's got this like higgledy-piggledy quality about
and
it.
it's like 3 times the size of London.
It's more dense. So
Yeah.
I understand what Chloe's saying about that.
So just in terms of stuff to do, so like cat cafes. I sat in a cat cafe for like 3 hours. I was scratched viciously, but and just fun events. Like went to Design Festa.
That was good.
That was so fun. It's just like a huge space with like loads of artists and just like loads of people were showcasing their work. That was really fun. So yeah, just like music, fashion, like just there's a lot of things going on.
And
So
there's
just
good bars and like
And
Yeah.
it's cheap.
and it's cheap.
it's cheap.
Yeah.
It's cheap.
It's so cheap.
That is a very important point about living in Japan compared to London. It is so cheap. The food, like
I haven't
the travel.
cooked for a long time.
Yeah. You don't need to cook. So
Yeah.
an average meal, how do I spend? Because I don't cook at all, like ever.
What, like 600 yen?
Yeah, 600
600
yen.
And I'm splashing out at 1,000.
Yeah.
Exchange rate
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now, 1,000 is about £6.
Yeah.
And even then, I'm like, this better be some fucking good
Yeah,
food.
Yeah.
you get a lot for your money.
So it's cheap. What about you, Cece? What other good things about, or just general things about living in Japan?
You know, of course, like everyone gets homesick,
Mm-hmm.
especially when you're feeling a bit down. You suddenly just want to be like, I just want to go home and watch TV. And sometimes you feel a bit like, you know, there's a bit more sort of rigmarole in doing anything. Like if you need to go to the doctor or like book a hairdresser appointment, there's a bit more sort of thought
Because you
can
have
put
to
into
switch
it.
your brain
Yeah,
on
yeah.
and be like, what's the Japanese for this?
Yeah, but
God.
once you get into it, it's fine. But you know, I do really like it here, and I want to return once I finish my degree. But I wouldn't say it's any like better or worse than anywhere
It's
else.
just different.
Yeah, and I think there's maybe more hardship that goes into your life here because you have to work harder, but that also makes it maybe more rewarding than living somewhere else because you have to sort of work harder.
Yeah. So just to put this out there, I often get like messages from people like, "Wow, I live in Japan! Wow, Japan!" And
You're living the dream.
you're living the dream. Like, wow, it's a magical place where all this cool stuff happens. Like, yeah, cool stuff does happen, but it also happens probably where you live. But you're probably just not making the effort to go and find it. So like life isn't, you're not walking around and someone like throws a Pokeball at you.
I
Like
think
that's not how life works.
It's
here.
exotic though.
Yeah.
Japan is exotic to most Westerners. A
Yeah.
lot of the way they go about doing things, their thought process is slightly counter to or different to what we would do.
Yeah.
So that makes them interesting, that piques your interest and it makes you want to go there, and because they're far away it must be way better than what you have at home.
Yeah, grass is always greener.
Yeah.
But the reality is, it's just another country, guys.
I think that's what you make of it, it's what you want to do. But I would say like for a kind of easier life here, definitely learn Japanese because otherwise it can be very lonely.
Yeah. I mean, even just like the space, like right now we're in Annabelle's place and it's just like a one room kind of thing. And it's just a one room, one person kind of thing. And like, I don't know.
I think it's like one thing I always thought about Tokyo, I'm not saying this about Japan, but Tokyo is it's great for solitary living.
Yeah.
Like
You
it's
could do
perfect.
this in London.
Like if you want to be by yourself, come to Tokyo because they have so many flats set up in that way.
Also, like food when you go out, it's really easy to just eat alone, and it's not weird at all.
Yeah.
The truth is, like, isolation is real. Like,
Yeah, it really
I
is.
can imagine living here and never really encountering anyone.
Yeah.
It's totally a possibility. For some reason, there's just not a lot of daily interaction unless you're at work.
Yeah,
I think we're really lucky that we have people from our own country to kind of like bounce stuff off of. You don't, even in class or something, because a lot of our classmates aren't from like Europe or America, they're mainly Chinese or Korean, so there's a lot of, they kind of understand Japanese culture a lot more being East Asian, so sometimes you're like, what's going on? I don't understand. Or like jokes that you don't get and stuff like that.
They're usually not funny, that's why.
But I think, you know, you have to adjust to a different culture, and you know, you might have watched all the anime in the world, read all the manga, whatever, but like
this isn't that.
This
is like a real place with real people. I do think make use of things like time out. So if you're in, use it, go see other places, other people. But I do recommend trying to put yourself out there because it will make your experience a much better
because
one.
people won't come to you because they're worried that you can't speak Japanese, but you know that this is why learning Japanese is actually really important, because then you can talk to people.
Yeah.
I mean, the alternative is if you get someone who is Japanese but speaks English. That's my feeling about it. It's just that sound. I can't put it into words, but I think you miss out on a lot of the experience because they probably have lived outside of Japan for a while. So I don't think you get an authentic Japanese experience from that. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have that person, but you shouldn't solely be surrounded by people like that.
And I think it is important to have people, you know, who you can speak your home language with, because actually it is quite a comforting thing.
Yeah. I just want to, like, another big point is just this thing about being a foreigner in Japan. So far it hasn't been a huge problem. No one's like, oh my god, like you're different, like no one cares. Apart from like one time, like literally the other day when I got in a taxi and like with two other foreigners and this Japanese girl. We didn't say anything, we literally just got in. She was like, oh my god, I'm surrounded by gaijin, like I'm surrounded by foreigners. It's like, okay then, like I'm surrounded by Japanese people every day, like what's the difference? But literally like no one cares. So
yeah, I think though, like, you know, a lot of people kind of have that mentality of like, I want to be Japanese, when I go to Japan I want to be seen as Japanese, like, but you're not Japanese.
Oh, yeah, that's a big thing. You're never gonna be Japanese.
No.
you can't change your nationality.
Not in a mean way, but you're just not.
Yeah, like especially, there are obviously cases where maybe you're half Japanese and grew up here all your life, and
but even they, if they grew up here,
they've got a different sort of like experience.
Yeah.
Like I can understand why that's frustrating, but as like someone who's grown up maybe, you know, in the West, or even like someone who's East Asian, you've spent all of your time, like your formative years, growing up in a different country, so you're not Japanese.
It's okay. Not a lot is expected of you.
Really.
And sometimes, like, no one can tell by looking at you that I understand half the shit you're saying. So, yeah, sometimes it's good to just not be too... What was I saying? I've lost my train of thought, I'm sorry. You get away with a lot of shit, is my point.
As a
foreigner. So, be empowered by that and take advantage of it, as opposed to looking at it and thinking, I'm not being recognised as an equal. Well, you're not. Like, but I think there's some things you need to reconcile yourself with. You know, that idea of you being recognised as an equal in here might mean changing the whole way of thought in the country. It's not going to happen right now while you're in Japan. So just get over it and try and make the best of it.
Yeah.
Like, I find in films and film industry, when you think of Japan, they think The Last Samurai, which is like ancient Japan, feudal lords,
Tom Cruise.
beauty. Well, I was gonna stay away from him because he's a freak. But yeah, and like looking at cherry blossoms and thinking how beautiful they are. and then you have like
Anime.
the anime, the Fifth Element future, like the world we all speak some form of Japanese, Chinese type world type Shinjuku scene.
Yeah.
I think that's where
Should be across it.
Yeah, exactly. People think of that and they think like these people are really technologically advanced. They're not.
Everyone's wired
Still
in.
use fax machine. I got given like a business card and every single person had their own individual fax number on it.
Yeah.
No.
Like,
Yeah, it's everything's really dated.
yeah.
The time warp.
Yeah, time warp.
I
yeah.
can confirm that not everyone is wired into technology. Like,
Yeah.
the Google privacy settings came up on the teacher's computer, and even though she's Japanese and can read them, thought she had to move to another computer. Even instead of just clicking, okay, I understand the Google privacy settings, she moved. So.
And TV, Japanese TV is crazy. It's like an advert all the time.
Yeah.
And when you, it's like an advert because you don't know like when adverts begin
And
and
when
the
they
show.
stop.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like QVC.
Yeah.
Like rolling
Yeah.
QVC 24
Lots of
hours.
heads all around it.
Yeah.
And try watching like weather forecast. That's crazy because you literally have a stick with a tennis ball in hand pointing to the weather. And when you look at the weather, it's like this guy in the back's been working for like the whole day cutting out the perfect sun. Perky little sun.
I think
And
my favourite thing are the slides, because you know, like they open and close the doors. Like today we're going to talk about this,
Yeah.
and then they close it, and you know someone behind is changing. Like now we're going to move to this topic.
And you know when they have like a view type, you know the view.
Yeah.
They have that type of setting,
Yeah.
and then like they're talking about something, and they'll be like, and there's like a diagram,
Yeah.
and it's huge, and they've got a diagram, and you're thinking, couldn't you have just used a graphic?
Nah, we don't want to.
So that was something that kind of surprised me when I first came. But heated toilet seats do exist. Like
They are lovely.
They are as well.
I don't have one here, but I would
Have you used any of the other buttons apart from flush though?
No, I'm scared.
Yeah, same.
The vending machines, Jidohanbaki.
They're literally every 100 meters.
Yeah,
so,
they're really useful,
so
man.
being thirsty is not an excuse.
No, you
Yeah.
can even get like hot coffee in there as well.
But sometimes I do want like Snickers or
Yeah,
chocolate
yeah.
or something.
You don't get a lot of food ones.
No.
It's mainly cigarettes and drinks.
Yeah. Well, it was like a crazy misconception apart from the technology thing.
Everyone wears Harajuku fashion.
Oh god! That's not true!
Yeah, like my dad came last week and we went and Harajuku and we saw a girl dressed in Lolita and he was like, I thought this was like mainstream here.
Like everyone stares at me. Not because I'm foreign, but because I dress like a weirdo.
Yeah, like you don't really see that kind of stuff a lot
No.
anymore.
No, you don't.
No, I mean, the younger generation, their fashion is
Very different.
it's different,
Yeah.
but only different to like Western young fashion, if you know what I mean. Because like if you walk around in London, everyone's wearing like the same Topshop whatever, and
Yeah, high-waisted jeans.
high-waisted.
Yeah.
I don't know what
Okay.
I don't know what people are wearing these days.
I'm so tired of that look.
Whatever.
Stop it.
Yeah, but everyone's wearing the same thing. It's the same for like the younger people here. They're all got like their curled
Yeah.
fringe and like the
Yeah.
pastel thing and like
Yeah.
the big hat. And,
Yeah,
you know, just because it looks different to you doesn't mean it's different to them.
yeah.
And
So-
also you don't see Lolitas on every street corner.
No.
Like,
Or decor or
Oh, no,
it's
no,
all
no, no,
gyaru. Like I have seen one gyaru and I think she was outside a club. Like she worked at a club. What's it called? Is it a club? Like a, not like a
hostess bar.
hostess. Yeah. something like that.
Oh, and there's like this, I would call it slut dressing. But
Should be a 109.
Yeah,
Should be a
'cause
109.
I figured it out. She took me to Shibuya 109 and I was like, this is where those girls buy their clothes, those heathens. Like, they all wear thigh-high boots and mini skirts because Japanese people don't tend to show off their chest.
No.
So the thighs are free for all apparently, and like that's where they shop. So if you like that look,
Yeah. Living in Japan, what have we covered? We covered like Harajuku fashion is not mainstream, guys. It's called Harajuku fashion for a reason.
But even Harajuku, you don't see it that often. Like,
It's just weird people.
Harajuku's full of tourists.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
full
it's
of
true.
tourists. Like,
Everyone's moved out, but we'll do a video
Yeah,
on
yeah.
where to shop that's not Harajuku.
even in Harajuku though, like, I never go into Keshitadori unless I
God,
want to
no.
go buy makeup or socks.
Yeah.
Because it's just
Because it's a hot mess. I feel like
Yeah.
you tend to stay away from
Yeah, go away.
tourist traps.
Just don't do
because
it.
It's
you
just
go like
painful.
around it.
Yeah. You go to 6%, that's where you go.
Yeah.
Akihabara. That's all I can think of
Akihabara,
when we
yeah.
talk about anime.
Yeah, it's like Akihabara is like the center of like anime stuff as far as we know, because we're not super into it, so
No.
we can't really.
Nakano is quite good.
Yeah, Nakano is quite good for
Okay,
But
it
in a
as well.
quaint way, not in the flashy Akihabara.
Yeah.
I think Ikebukuro as well, like towards
That's true.
like beyond Sunshine City, there's a lot of like,
Yeah.
but it's more for girls rather than the kind of like.
There's the Pokemon Center in
Yeah.
People don't walk around in cosplay.
No, I didn't know. I've never seen.
I haven't seen that actually at all.
I have.
Oh, where did you see it?
Where was it? It was in Nakano. I think that was like a meetup or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, so in terms of like anime and everything, like actually Nagoya had a pretty thriving anime scene going on. There was like a room of people playing like Yu-Gi-Oh or something. But yeah, just so you know, when you walk down the street, you're not gonna see someone in cosplay. You're not gonna see someone like crazy, like some crazy crap's gonna happen. Actually, the only crazy thing, I think the craziest thing I've seen is old, like what's his name?
It's
Oh
Sailor
yeah,
Guy.
the Sailor guy.
Seifuku Ji-san. I know where he lives because I've seen him, because he lives
lives near us.
near us because I've seen him in normal clothes. I think that's the craziest
What?
thing.
Yeah.
Twice.
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 God.
We're not gonna say.
I thought he was
not
gonna
We're not gonna say where it is.
I'm gonna let him live a normal life.
And also let us live a normal life.
Yeah, but yeah, so Japan is, Tokyo is just another city, but it's like different to what we know.
It's not the stereotype. It's
No,
the
Yeah.
way
and all
and-
the cars and shapes of boxes.
Yeah.
It's just like.
Yeah, so whatever we've covered, we hope that helps.
A little bit. It was kind of a bit of a mess. Sorry about that.
Yes.
But there's a lot, there's a lot of stuff.
I think
There's a lot of things.
it depends on the feedback. You could go into more detail about
Mm,
actually
yeah.
living as far as apartments.
Tell us what
and
you want to
stuff,
know.
or
We'll let you know.
social life.
This is just us having a chat with like friends.
Ooh, can say that I have drunk more in my life.
Yeah.
Yes.
Than I
Yes.
have
Ever.
ever.
I like beer now.
Ew.
Yeah, I never used to like beer until I moved here.
A liquid bread man.
Peach soda.
I'm into my Anzu now. I used to be into umeshu.
Umeshu.
I'm
I
really
do
into
like
Anzu.
umeshu still.
Yeah. I took some from my mum and she was like, this is the shit.
Yes.
And that's it. Soju.
Yeah.
So that is
If
I
you're-
can drink that now.
Yeah, it's lethal.
Yeah.
Basically, if you're into drinking, this is
Even
This
if you're
is the
not
place.
into drinking,
You will become into. You'll come to love it.
Yeah.
Nomi Hoda is a thing.
Yeah.
So
We still haven't done that though.
We haven't done it. No, we haven't done it.
Nomi Hoda equals all you can drink.
All you can drink.
Oh, we've done it in karaoke.
We'll do that. We're doing a whole video on karaoke.
Okay.
We're doing live experience at
Okay.
karaoke.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
join us on our karaoke
Yeah.
free for all for 7 hours. Yeah. So yeah, I think that about wraps up this it's just super general what we chatty video about. And yeah, I think we're done now.
Yeah.
Good.
Let's wrap it. At you. Bye.
After party, guys.
I'm tired.